Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day. My name is Muhammad Luqmanul Hakim from MRSM Johor Bahru, and today I'm going to talk about a certain topic which is very close to all of us, which is embracing the new normal. For Malaysia, as a rapidly developing economy forging an identity of its own, there's never been a better time to stand out from the crowd and help write for what will be named as the new normal. Now, many countries have been easing their economic and social restrictions due to the COVID-19 pandemic, including Malaysia. There has been a lot of talk. What is the new normal? What does this actually mean? From my point of view and perspective, the new normal is a new way of life, a new way of living, going to work, and interacting with others. But if you think, what is actually in the new normal? What are we actually embracing? One thing that have been implemented in the new normal is social distancing. This is brought to higher our standards of personal hygiene. And one thing that I've noticed is we have started to have our holidays in our own backyards due to travel restrictions implemented by the government. This actually means that social distancing is no longer an option to choose, but an obligation to do by us all. But nowadays, social distancing doesn't result in social disconnection due to the technology that we have. Even though we are distant from each other, we can still contact, interact, and socialize. Now, as I'm speaking of the technology we have nowadays, that actually brings me to my second point, which is digitalization. The COVID-19 pandemic has raged around the globe, shutting down multiple sectors, induce large-scale institutionalized lockdowns affected in the education sector. Now, according to a study conducted by UNESCO, there have been 1.5 billion students worldwide from primary to tertiary level who can't attend school. This number may be shocking. Yes, it is shocking. But it has resulted in educational organizations such as schools and universities to seek other alternatives to educate our generation. We have been learning through online platforms such as Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, and Zoom. Now, this has developed our IT sector, our digital sector, very dramatically. This used to be our future of work, digital learning replacing our physical learning, but it has turned into our current reality overnight. The future has become the present. Now, everything is changing nowadays. Yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing, leading to my final point, which is we must endure and change in these troubling times. We must forget our new normal, which led to this normal. Our normal led to this. We must put our past behind, but our dexterity and our adaptability to embrace the new normal currently is what matters now. Now, I have learned in this pandemic, everything has been changing. Our learning system, our communication, but although everything is changing, there has been one thing that hasn't been changed, which is change itself, which is quite ironic. Yes, change is the only constant nowadays, but we must embrace it with open hands because it doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. One thing that I've learned during this pandemic is life doesn't get easier and more forgiving, but we actually get more stronger and more resilient. Now, no matter how much falls on us, we must keep plowing ahead to keep the roads clear. In the face of adversity, we have a choice to either be bitter or be better. Those words are my North Star. Now, as a conclusion, the COVID-19 pandemic has shown that our fate is inextricably linked together. Whether we win or we lose, we will do so together. For better or worse, it appears that living with uncertainties is the new normal in Malaysia. And we must embrace the new normal. We must embrace it with open hands and an open mind. Now, that is all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you.